But the one down from this episode has to do with Spencer and Liv again, and it's this girl Alicia, man. Him and it looks like him and Alicia are gonna get together on the date. And for me, I just didn't like it. And it's funny because I never wanted to be one of those fans that didn't want to see Spencer with anybody but Liv. But I'm officially one of those fans. I did not like seeing that. Like for me, that was yes, sir, it is your boy KB, the boss from ShifterMagazine.com, here with another episode of Shifter TV Talk, where we break down the latest in some of our favorite TV shows. And so today we're talking about Season 5, Episode 3 of All American. Now, if it seems like I'm a little bit off today, it's because I'm a little bit under the weather. I got a cold on the weekend. I got a head cold, a chest cold. I think I might have a foot cold. It's all over my body. I have my trusty box of tissues here in case this is not a Scotty's advertisement, by the way. But yeah, I have my trusty tissues here just in case. So yeah, feeling a little bit under the weather, but I feel like I needed to come on today because we have to talk about last night's episode of All American. It's absolutely essential. So here we are. Just bear with me, people. I may not have the energy I usually have. I might be a little bit more low key, but let's dive right in. So for yesterday's episode, actually only had one down. I had one down and a bunch of ups. So I'm actually going to go through the ups first this time and then come back to my last down. And if you watch yesterday's episode, you probably know what that one down is. So let's go. So my first up, Asher, man. Asher continues to impress, man. Asher is the gift that keeps on giving. He had a really good episode yesterday. If you saw, Coach Montez kind of gave him a little bit of a promotion. Wants to show him the ropes for the off season, like how he does his job in the off season. Give him a little bit more responsibilities. So he actually had some scouting talent, which is pretty cool. And that job brings him to Billy, brings him to Crenshaw High. It has him just talking about some of the players that he has at Crenshaw. And it was really cool to watch Billy and Asher, just the way that their dynamic in their relationship has changed. Like yesterday, it's watching, Asher, he has a little bit of a beard, and him just standing next to Billy talking about players. You really see that they've made that change in their relationship from being player and coach to being peers. It was actually cool to see Asher and Billy being peers as people who are, on the coaching side of things. So that's cool to see that progression in Asher's character. So Asher, boom, you're the first up from that episode. Love to see it. The other up was Isaiah. If you saw that, you saw that Isaiah, who Coach Garrett had injured. I think it was the opposing linebacker. Isaiah is kind of showing his kind-hearted side and wants to share his story. Basically, he wants to help rat out Coach Garrett. And for me, that was nice. It was nice just to see that. And obviously, it's helping Liv's story because Spencer kind of pushed him in the direction of, hey, go talk to Liv. So now he's going to talk to Liv, and it's helping her story, which is nice. But also just, we're seeing the humanity of his character coming out. So definitely Isaiah, kind of confessing to the crime, and risking his football future because his whole place on the team. Or his whole scholarship, his full ride scholarship came about because of Coach Garrett. So he's really putting his whole scholarship at risk, his whole place on the team at risk in order to do the right thing. So boom, that's an up right there. What else do we have here? Patience had a good episode. So yeah, if you watched it, you saw Patience. She was getting ready for her first red carpet event. Her and Layla. It was nice to see. It was just nice to see just the progression of her dream. Like Patience is making it. Like she's becoming the star. And if you looked at her in the very beginnings of when she appeared on the show, you wouldn't have. I personally wouldn't have guessed where she is right now. So it's just amazing to see how much her character has progressed. And yeah, she's becoming the star of the group. So for me, that's super dope. So definitely that gets a up, as well as she had a little bit of an exchange with Coop because Coop was just showing her how viral she was becoming just from killing it on the red carpet. Coop comes up to her and they kind of have a little bit of an exchange. It was nice to see. They're one couple that I don't necessarily need to see back together right now. Eventually it'll be cool, but I don't need to see them together right now. It was nice just to see them kind of have that for old time's sake, having that nice little exchange, exchanging pleasantries and potentially hinting at a reunion at some point down the line. I thought that was cool. So boom, Patience as well as Patience and Coop, definitely up. Jordala. Again, the gift that keeps on giving. Every episode they give us these ups. But this time it was Layla who was kind of, pushing herself onto Jordan. Like she went in for the kiss, grabbed his face, and was like, yeah, like smooching and stuff. Boom, that was a great moment. Just watching Layla go from a place, the end of last season to where she was in denial, for her to now kind of like be like, taking not the bull by the horns, but taking Jordan by the face and initiating that. Again, shows the growth in their relationship, the growth in her. I'm a fan of a woman going after what she wants. So for me, boom, that was definitely an up. And last but not least, when it comes to ups, now I'm reaching here, people. When it comes to Spencer and Liv and ups, I'm reaching, people. I'm reaching, but they had a little bit of an up. They had a rough patch in the beginning of the episode where, Liv was getting upset because she thought Spencer was telling her how to do her job as a journalist, because he was trying to tell her that she was approaching the players wrong. She didn't like that. She thought he was overstepping, but in the end, they kind of have a good conversation where she realizes, I needed. He realizes, I probably overstepped a little bit. I think she needed to hear that. And yeah, and then also she admitted that, you actually helped me, to better, relate to these players. So it's kind of a nice little moment. It just showed that they're even though they're just friends right now, it shows that they're learning how to kind of work together, learning how to accept each other for who they are. And so it showed growth on their part. So for me, it was like, again, I'm reaching people, but I thought that was definitely an up in their relationship. So let's talk about the one down that I noticed. And if you're just somehow tuning in, yes, I am a little bit under the weather. You can tell I have a little bit of a cold. That's why I'm talking this way. But the one down from this episode has to do with Spencer and Liv again. And it's this girl, Alicia, man. If you didn't see it, Grace, she goes to the dress shop to find a wedding dress. And the salesperson is this girl named Alicia, and her and Spencer are starting to hit it off, and there's a little bit of chemistry. And in the end, we're seeing he actually does have game. In some of the previous episodes, we're like, does this guy have game or not? Or is it, does he actually have game with the ladies? In this episode, we see he's a little bit sly. He's a little bit sly with the ladies. He actually has some game. It looks like him and Alicia are going to get together on the date. And for me, I just didn't like it. It's funny because I never wanted to be one of those fans that didn't want to see Spencer with anybody but Liv. But I'm officially one of those fans. I did not like seeing that. I don't like seeing Spencer dating other people. It's like, I don't mind him and Liv being apart and just them being single, but just seeing him dating this girl or about to date this girl, Alicia, like for me, that was a down. Like I didn't like seeing it. Like this girl Alicia, she looks like she's a nice person or a nice character, but for me it was just like, nah, man, I'm not ready for this. And again, Grace and all these people are encouraging Spencer. They're encouraging him to be young and to explore other options. But for me, it's like, him and Liv clearly aren't over each other. Bro, instead of pushing him in the direction of this girl, Alicia, you should be pushing them in the direction of each other to work things out. So that didn't bother me. I don't want to see you, Spencer, with this other girl. So that for me is a down, people. So, but there's some other interesting things that happened on this episode. And I think also too, it's interesting to see the transition of Billy's character. Billy as a character, as a father, he's going from being at the forefront to being more in a supportive role. As the children are in university and they're becoming adults, you literally see him just being more of a supportive role. And it's like that on the actual show. Like in the first number of seasons, he was really just at the forefront, one of the lead characters, and he's really gone back to just really being more of a supporting character. So it's just interesting to see how the kids growing up and him, as a father becoming more in the supportive role is mirrored by him actually on the show kind of playing more of a supportive role. So I think that's pretty interesting. The other thing too, yesterday's episode, JJ is a friggin' mess, man. JJ is a mess, people. So if you watched yesterday's episode, you saw that he saw Jordan and Layla kiss, but the next day he realized he was so drunk, he was so out of his mind. He thought it was two lesbians. He thought Jordan was a short-haired lesbian, kissing this other girl that he didn't even know was Layla. So it's interesting just to see like the fact that it was hilarious. It was a little funny to see that he thought Jordan was a short-haired lesbian. Jordan didn't seem to mind. I think he was more relieved of the fact that JJ didn't know that it was them, that he actually didn't take offense to the fact that Jordan thought he was a short-haired lesbian. But that's it, people, for this episode. Cutting it a little bit short. My energy is low. I'm not feeling well, but I still felt I needed to come on and talk about this episode because, this Spencer and Alicia thing was bothering me. I don't know about you guys. It was bothering me. So I needed to come and talk about it. But that's it. If in case you missed it, we do have a written recap over at shiftermagazine.com of yesterday's episode. So make sure to go check that out. And that's it. I'm your boy KB the Boss, shiftermagazine.com. I'm going to go sleep. I'm out. Peace.